Hi, I'm Mary and welcome to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Today I'm making Twinkie cakes, and I have been researching this actually for several days now because I really used to love Twinkies when I was a kid. I can't tell you the last time I bought any Twinkies, but doesn't mean I don't still love them. They actually stopped making them for a minute. Hostess, the company that made them, went out of business, and then Sara Lee actually bought the recipe, so they started making. And I'm using a vanilla bundt cake recipe that I got from when I bought this Heritage bundt cake pan, and I wanted to cut it in half because this makes a full cake, and I'm only making 12 of these little mini bundt cakes. So, and I have sprayed these with the official bundt cake spray so that it's okay to spray it. I do, in an earlier video, I made some goop I was telling you about, which is equal parts flour, oil, and shortening. But it's 12 little things, and I just didn't want to do that. So I said, I'm going to use my spray on this and see how that goes. But to start off with, oh, and also I cut the recipe in half. And so luckily, Nordic Ware put the recipe in grams and milliliters instead of just cups. And that way I was able to cut the recipe in half, 235 grams of flour, just regular all-purpose flour. 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt. Just whisk that or sift it if you're a sifter instead of a whisker. Now I have some softened butter. I'm gonna whip the butter for about 30 seconds just to get it soft. And now I'm adding 205 grams of granulated sugar. And I'm gonna beat this for 5 minutes. And we'll be back. Let's scrape down the sides a little bit. There's a lot of it sticking to the sides. And I want it all beat up nice and fluffy. Fluffy! Now I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, large eggs, one at a time. I'm going to scrape down the sides, and then this is going to beat for 1 minute more. Okay, we're ready to start adding the flour and the milk on low. 1/3 of the flour mixture and half of the milk. This is 155 milliliters of milk. I'm using half of it at this point. Now 1/3 of the flour. Now the rest of the milk, the rest of the flour. Scrape down the sides. Now to make life a little bit easier while I'm filling up this tin, I am going to use this piping bag and put all of the batter in here. If you want to use a scoop, or if you just want to pour it in there, or if you have a spoon you like to use, however you like to do this. All right, let's see here. I'm going to cut a good piece off of there because you want the batter to come out to flow, right? Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to fill these up. Now, just like we do with a regular bundt pan, with this little mini bundt pan, I have to knock it down a little bit. These are going to go into a 325-degree preheated oven. I'm going to check them at 10 minutes. Since this recipe is for a bigger bundt cake, it's saying like an hour, which no way is this going to take an hour. So I'm going to check these at about 10 minutes, and they might take up to about 15 minutes. And then we'll be back. Okay, here's our little mini vanilla bundt cakes getting ready to be turned into little Twinkie cakes. They have to cool off completely. Well, they need to cool. I'm going to let them cool in here for about 10 minutes. Then I'm going to remove them from this pan, and I'll show you that. And then we're going to fill them up with some fluffy filling that's going to make them taste like a Twinkie. I cannot wait. Stick with me. We'll be right back. Okay, time to turn these out. Let these cool completely. And you know what you have to do with bundt pans. You've got to get aggressive. They look like little Twinkie bunts, don't they? I'm pretty excited about this. Stay tuned, we're gonna get ready to make the filling. Seriously though, how cute are these bundt cakes? They're so cute. And I really do like individual serving stuff. Just, you know, nobody has to slice it. People can just take their own. Don't get me wrong, I make my fair share of cakes and I love them. But I like the idea of individual things. People just pick up and go. Nobody has to slice them off a piece. Nobody has to touch it. We'll be right back. Okay, now it's time to make the filling. This is supposed to taste just like the creamy filling. I remember growing up, I didn't get a lot of Twinkies because my dad, my brother, and one of my sisters all worked for IBC Corporation, which is Interstate Brands, which made Dolly Madison cakes, which was zingers. Nowhere near as good as Twinkies, but they did have frosting on them. Twinkies didn't have frosting, so, and they didn't have as much cream in them either. It's weird. Okay, now we're gonna get started on the filling. I have a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of hot water. I want to dissolve the salt in the hot water. Now the rest of the ingredients. I have a 7-ounce container of marshmallow cream in here, a 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, a 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, now I'm going to add our salt solution. Now I'm going to fill this piping bag with this filling. I have a cool little tip. It's actually like 4 filling things, like filling donuts and Twinkies apparently. I'll show it to you in a sec. Okay. You can see it has like a little injector tool there. You know how a Twinkie has the holes all down the center? We're going to put this not in the center of the cake because there's not as much there, but I'm going to put it right here. Yummy. Now you can put as much or as little filling as you want. You can put no filling if you want to, but then it wouldn't be like a Twinkie. You can feel it as it's getting filled, so you can just pull out accordingly. Now see, for me, I think about 5 squirts. I really filled that one. All right, let's see. It's definitely reminiscent of a Twinkie. I'm not going to say it tastes exactly like a Twinkie. I love these. I would make these again. I hope you'll try them at home. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. I will see you next time. You take care now.